All right, I'm going through an example of a tax that I did using the software TurboTax. So there's a variety of software that you can use to do taxes. This is just the app that we chose. All right, so it starts by giving you a little summary of what happened last year and if there's any kind of changes. So we'll continue here. And then it asks you some questions. So did I work in 2022? Yes, I did. And so it asked me, which of these kind of applies to me. And so you just look through there and you check the ones that apply to you. In this case, I had employment income because I work here as a teacher. So I would have a T4. And then it asked me a bunch of other questions. I didn't include all of them here, but yeah, just some of them. So you just go through each one and answer yes or no. Depending on what you answer with the questions, they may like give you certain forms to fill out or whatever. But you just keep on answering the questions, and the app will kind of do that work for you. Okay, so we've finished the profile section, the intro and the profile, and so we're now moving to income and expenses. Okay, let's get your tax info from the CRA. So it's asking me to sign into my CRA account, verify my social insurance number, and then if there is like tax slips that are on file at the CRA, they will download them and put them into the app. In this case, you can see that I already did that on March 14th. So yeah, this is kind of a new feature in the last few years where they will do that for you and they have all your info on the website. So it makes it way easier actually. T4 summary. So it's asking for Board of Education, School District of Vancouver. So that's my T4 there. So I have, classified some information, but just want to give you an idea what that will kind of look like. So if I click into the T4 section, well, first of all, let me show you what a T4 actually looks like. So this is the T4 that I get from Vancouver School Board. And so it has basically a bunch of boxes with titles and information, numbers in each box, which again, I have classified. And so you will get this from wherever you're working, you will be issued one of these slips. And then you have to transfer this information into the app. And so you will see that each box has a number inside it. So for example, at the top, box number 14 has employment income. And so I would go to the next page, and here we are, my T4. And so in box 14, I would type in the number that is in box 14 of my T4, right? And then like box 16 has a number, and I'll go to box 16 and type in that number here. In this case, because I downloaded the T4 slip from CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, that is done automatically for me. So this was all filled out for me. I didn't have to fill anything out. Sometimes your employer may not, your your T4 slip may not be on file with CRA, so then you will have to manually fill in those slips. It just depends on your situation, I guess. But yeah, I think this is the first time, maybe second time, that I haven't had to actually fill in these numbers myself, that it automatically did it for me. So definitely saves time there. So for every job that you have, you'll get a T4 slip, and then every investment that you have, you'll get a T5 slip. And I couldn't show you the slip for this time, but yeah, it'll be very similar. There'll be boxes with numbers, and so whatever was in box 13 is the number that I put in here. I think this one again was automatically done for me, and so very convenient. So yeah, T4 and T5, those are common. So this is like investment income. So if you have some, I don't know, savings account or mutual fund or something like that with a bank, then they'll issue you a T5. Oh, and here's going into the T5, and you can see, the boxes, and you have to kind of fill them in. Employment expenses, it's asking if I have spent any money to do my job. In this case, I didn't, so I didn't check that box. Investments profile, so did I have any of these things? In this case, I didn't. So yeah, if you're pretty simple with your investments, then the whole income tax process is easy. Sale of my principal residence, I did not sell my house, so I skip that. And then it gives me a summary, based on all the slips that I filled out. It gives me a summary of what my total income is. And so you can see that I have classified the information as 2 rows because I filled this tax form jointly with my wife. And so you can file taxes like singly or jointly. So here we are. We finished with our income and expenses, and now it's going to the RRSP section. RRSP, as you recall, is a registered retirement savings plan, and so that is a tax-free account where you can put your money. And so that was explained in another lesson. So they have a little wizard to help you determine how much you should spend on your RRSPs. And so they have this little form with a little sliding bar, and depending on where you slide the bar, you could save more or less money. In this case, I didn't buy RRSPs this year, so I just kind of ignored this. And you can see, well, you can't see because I classified it, but yeah, I didn't buy any, so it's all zeros. Okay, so now we're to deductions and credits. In this case, I have dependents, so I have children. When you're answering those questions at the beginning, if you didn't say that you had children, then you wouldn't even see this screen. So you only see the screens that I guess you need to see in some ways. But in my case, I saw this. Again, asking you a bunch of questions. You just have to answer yes or no, and like check off the ones that you apply to you, I guess. Charity. So charity, if you donate money to charity, those can be deducted from your taxes. And so you can enter, the info for your donations that you made for that year. And there's a form there. And again, just answer the questions with the amounts and so on. And then this is more donation stuff. If you donate a lot of money, for example, if you donated a bunch of money last year, and you used those donations to reduce your tax last year, and your tax went down to 0, but it didn't take all of the donations to make your tax go down to 0, so you had some donations left, you can actually use those donations towards this year. So that's what they're asking here. In this case, I didn't have any. Tuition. Okay, so tuition also is deducted from your taxes, so you don't have to pay tax on the money that you spent on tuition. In this case, I did not go to school. So, tuition, we're talking about really post-secondary, university, college, that kind of thing. Did I pay for childcare? In this case, I did not. Yeah, so this is all stuff about kids. So, you probably wouldn't see these on yours. But if you did, you just answer the questions anyways. And, it's all about answering questions. Again, I'm not even quite sure what this one is, but I just answer the questions, right? Again, gives you a summary. You can't maybe see this, but yeah, it just gives you a summary of, based on the info that you've entered in the previous screens, what your summary is. And so we're on to the next section. So we paid our federal taxes, and now provincial also, so province of BC also has some taxes that they would like us to pay. But we already entered in a lot of the information, so then the system just, automatically calculates a lot of the stuff. There are some special things that they're going to ask us, so again, just answering the questions, right? And then they generate the info for the province, right? So very similar to the one that we saw before for the federal. Okay, I've entered all my tax info, so good for me. Just 2 steps to go. Here we go. The summary. So at the end of it, they will say, okay, you have to pay us more taxes, or, oh, you get a refund. We'll send you some money back. So in my case, I got a refund. Amount is classified, but yeah, I got some money back from the government. So after I file my taxes, they'll send me a check, or in my case, they'll just deposit it into my bank account, direct deposit. And then I'm just gonna save my records. So next year, when I go to do next year's taxes, all the info from the previous year is there, and they will use some of that info to like pre-do some of my stuff for next year, so that I don't have to fill in as many things or answer as many questions. Save your return and file. So in this case, I already filed. The file button is not there, but if I hadn't done it already, there would be a button to file. In this case, I filed already on March 20th, so done. That's it. That's doing your taxes. So it's not actually that hard. And even in the last few years, it's gotten easier. You know, you can easily do this, especially if you don't have a lot of complicated things, you don't have a lot of complicated investments, and you don't have your own business and all those kind of things. You could really, you know, if all you have is like a job, maybe you're going to post-secondary or something, you could really do your tax in an hour or so. It doesn't take all that long. All right, so that is an example of, walking through how, it works to do taxes. Again, this is one particular app, but all the apps are going to be fairly similar and ask you similar kinds of things. So yeah, that's it for this video, and see you in the next one.